All right, we are ready to rock and roll. The time is 11:12 a.m. on this fine Wednesday, September 9th, and we'll go ahead and get started with the meeting of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission. So, yes, time is 9:12, and I call this meeting to order. Mr. Saeed, can you please read the notice of the public meeting?
Chairwoman, this is a regularly scheduled meeting of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission's 2025 annual meeting schedule. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the Senator Byron M. Baer Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the meeting was provided to the Asbury Park Press, Bergen Record, Courier Post, Star Ledger, and the Trenton Times on December 12, 2024. The agenda and information regarding the virtual nature of the meeting and the ability to live stream was also posted on the CRC website. The meeting time and location has also been posted on the website of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission and with the Office of the Secretary of the State.
Thank you. Can we please do roll call?
Commissioner Mapp, Commissioner Mapp,
We're having some technical issues here. One moment, and I'll go see if we can troubleshoot some of the technology here that just isn't wanting to cooperate with us today. One moment, please.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, Commissioner, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to go through the names again, just so we have a clear record.
Okay.
Commissioner Mapp,
Here.
Vice Chair Nash,
Present.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Present.
We now have a quorum. The first order of business is for the Commission to go into executive session to discuss legal matters and litigation and investigation updates. These are discussions that are not shared with the public. We believe the executive session should take about 60 minutes.
Thank you. I will move that we enter executive session to discuss litigation updates, investigation matters, and other matters appropriate for executive session. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Mapp. Is there any discussion on this motion to go into executive session? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes. So as Mr. Saeed mentioned, we expect the executive session to last approximately 1 hour. We will leave the live stream running during that time. And so we can expect to resume the public session, we'll say at 12:20 p.m. Thank you for your patience, everyone. All right, and we are back. The time is 12:20, and we will resume the public portion of this meeting. Mr. Saeed, can you please announce the next agenda item?
Next up on the agenda is approving the minutes of both the Commission's open and executive sessions held on July 15th and August 7th, 2025. The minutes have been shared with the members of the Commission prior to this meeting.
Thank you. If there are no edits or corrections needed to the meeting minutes, is there a motion on the matter?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
I second.
Moved by Commissioner Mapp and seconded by Vice Chair Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion to approve the minutes? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes.
The next item on the agenda is the consideration of adult use cannabis business conversion license applications.
I will turn the floor over to Executive Director Riggs to share a summary of the applications received.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 5 conditional to annual conversion applications that are currently recommended to the board. There are 5 annual applications. We have 2 additional cannabis consumption area endorsements and 16 annual licensing renewals. I believe the first item that we'll have up for consideration is the conversion applications. As I stated, there are 5 of those. All of these licensee applicants have applied and been approved for a conditional license through our process. They have followed the priority assignment, where we've confirmed that each application is assigned to its appropriate review level. We look for diversity on business status, taxes, residency if required, and cures are sent out if we need additional information. Then there is a priority verification where that priority is confirmed, not only based upon them checking the box, but that the appropriate documentation was submitted to support the priority review that they requested. If we need additional information, cures are sent at that step as well. Then licensing completes what we call completeness review, where we confirm that all the required documents are submitted. Again, we confirm that not just the document was submitted, but all the information is filled out on that document. And then we deem that the application is complete. Next, these license applications are scored, where the documents are reviewed to ensure that the applicant submitted the required information to satisfy all the regulatory requirements and the notice of application acceptance. At that point, a qualification review is conducted by our Office of Compliance and Investigations, where individuals, financial sources, and any other agreements are reviewed for regulatory compliance. Background checks are conducted at this stage for folks that need to be background checked to ensure that the owners and any persons of interest are qualified to work in the cannabis space. And then there's a quality control process where licensing, OCI, and legal get together and ensure that the application checks all the boxes and they're ready to go and be licensed. Now we are at the step where we are recommending that these applications be approved by the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Riggs. Are there any questions from the board regarding these 5 conversion applications? Hearing no questions, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the 5 conversion applications to convert from conditional to annual.
Moved by Vice Chair Nash and seconded by Commissioner Mapp. Is there any discussion on this motion to approve the 5 applications? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Saeed, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wenu.
Yes.
The motion passes. The next item up on the agenda is the consideration of adult use cannabis business annual license applications.
Thank you. Director Riggs, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 5 annual applications up for consideration today, 2 manufacturers and 3 retailers. The same process that I just articulated for the conversion applications was followed. There was priority assignment. That priority was then verified. Completeness review was conducted. The applications were scored. There was a qualification review, quality control process, and now we are recommending that these 5 applications for an annual license be approved by the board.
Thank you, Director Riggs. Are there any questions from the board for Director Riggs? Hearing no questions, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move that we accept these applications as presented today.
And I will second.
Moved by Commissioner Mapp to accept or approve the applications and seconded by Vice Chair Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Saeed, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wenu.
Yes.
The motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of the cannabis consumption area endorsements.
Thank you. Director Riggs, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 2 consumption area endorsements before the board today. Everest Dispensary LLC, which is in Atlantic City, and then Molly Ann Farms, which is in Hallaton. Both of these applications are diversely owned businesses. As a reminder, this is an endorsement, and the consumption area must be associated with a Class 5 retailer license and be located on the brick and mortar premises of that Class 5 cannabis retailer license. The site plan and municipal approvals were submitted and reviewed by the Office of Compliance and Investigations. Standard operating procedures were also reviewed. We have determined that they are in good standing with the CRC and that they comply. Therefore, we are recommending that these two applications for a consumption area endorsement be approved by the board today. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Riggs. Are there any questions from the board for Director Riggs? Hearing no questions, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the two cannabis consumption area endorsements presented today.
I second.
Moved by Vice Chair Nash, seconded by Commissioner Mapp. Is there any discussion on this motion to approve the applications? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Chairwoman Waynu.
Yes.
The motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of adult use cannabis business annual license renewal applications.
Thank you, Mr. Said. Director Riggs, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 16 renewals before the board today. I'll let the slides go through so that they can be listed. All of these applications have followed our licensing process. Licenses are effective and valid for 1 year from issuance and are required to be renewed annually in the adult use space. These licenses are set to expire in short term, and all of these entities have provided the required documentation that we need for renewal. That documentation has been reviewed by our Office of Compliance and Investigation. They are recommending that we approve the 16 licenses renewals. Therefore, there is a recommendation to the board to approve all 16 licenses that they be renewed for an additional year of licensure. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Riggs. Are there any questions from the board? Hearing no questions, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the 16 annual licenses as they were presented today.
Moved by Commissioner Mapp. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion to approve the 16 license renewals? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes.
Chairwoman Waynu.
Yes.
The motion passes. The next item on the agenda, we have the open public comment period.
As I do at every board meeting, as we open the public comment period, I want to remind folks that you can submit written comments to the commission either during or after this meeting via our website, nj.gov/cannabis/meetings. And the deadline for submitting written comments for today's public meeting is 5:00 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday, September 11th. Written comments will be shared with the commission members and will be made public. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. So please be mindful of the time. Mr. Said will call out the names of our registered speakers. For our virtual callers, press *9 to raise your hand if you're dialing by phone, and then press *6 when Mr. Said asks you to unmute yourself. For those joining on the Zoom platform, use the raise hand function, and then Mr. Said will let you know when you are free to begin your comments. With that, Mr. Said, please call on our first registered speakers.
Thank you, Chairwoman. As a reminder, public speakers during this afternoon's public comment period will be limited to 3 minutes. I will also give a 30-second reminder when you have 30 seconds left. Please be respectful and concise during your comments. Okay, the first person on the list is Mayor Albert Kelly. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. The last four of the telephone number is 8377. Okay, I don't see that person. The next person on the list is Thomas Norcia. Last four is 2406. I don't see that person. The next person is Cheryl Murray Powell. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Last four is 4678. All right, I see you. Cheryl, you have the floor.
Yes, greetings, everyone. This is Cheryl Murray Powell, Esquire, Cannabis Agricultural Dietary Supplement Trade and Regulatory Attorney. I just wanted to say thank you to the CRC for allowing me this opportunity to comment. I just want to congratulate everyone for building a robust and diverse market. We're seeing new dispensaries open in different municipalities across the state, which is what we expected, but it just took longer than we thought it would. In honor of the Ethiopian New Year, which is tomorrow on September 11th, I just want to also recognize the CRC for their engagement with the Rastafari community of New Jersey. This has been a very proactive approach, and I hope to see it replicated across the country and other jurisdictions. But with that outreach, we have had increased interest from our Rastafarian community as well as Pan-African community that were part of our legacy operator community, express interest in applying for licenses and transitioning from the illicit market into the legal market, or people who were formerly part of the illicit market becoming a part of this new emerging industry. We are expecting significant economic growth, job creation, and we just want to thank you for being steadfast, being fair and equitable with the inclusion of these often underserved communities. With that said, thank you and enjoy the Ethiopian New Year tomorrow. Give thanks.
Thank you, Cheryl. The next person on the list is Paul Cassis. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Last four is 1144. Paul Cassis. I don't see that person. The next person is Dr. Eliza Brevard Rodriguez. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. All right, I see you. Dr. Eliza, you have the floor.
Hi, Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, commissioners and all on this meeting. My name is Dr. Eliza Brevard Rodriguez. Thank you for our renewal. Outside of that, I'd love to check in more, but apparently I left the military and my time in war there to join a new war here, except I never asked in my life to join another war. This is my second meeting today to offer advocacy when I should be actually running a store. By finding healing in the use of this plant, I thought it would be a great military transition after being medically released from an injury overseas. And since the state of New Jersey was actively recruiting disabled veterans and other disadvantaged businesses types alike to come join the cannabis industry, it sounded like the perfect transition. Well, after fighting for my life to open my doors after almost 3 years of being in this process, I'm now 11 months into operating, and I'm here to say what apparently no one else in this industry wants to tell you all, which is that it's collapsing right before your eyes. The waiting times at both the municipal and state level have forced small operators like myself into crushing debt. The hype sold about this market has not matched the outcomes, and it's clear these expectations were not anticipated on a governmental level, but the fees that we pay are so high, and they wanted so many dispensaries. For example, we were just paying $10K for a license in Jersey City, and now the fee went up 50% to $15,000. They don't even have a board. How do they justify increasing their fee $5,000? That's an insane jump in 1 year. But of course, they're making millions. So for their very uninformed selves, those fees are justified. Many of us are just tired of the state patting itself on the back nationally and putting out press releases about money that they still haven't provided. The NJ-EDA boasting about grants in May that we've still yet to see in this rapidly moving industry. I was just there today for their annual meeting. And honestly, had I not went there and shared my journey, I don't think that the new grant that they're trying to put out would have garnered any interest. And it doesn't even have anything to do with me. I'm a retailer. This was a cultivation and manufacturing. But again, we need the industry to come out so that they understand the importance and what we are offering. Billions. This is not in theory. AI is in theory. AI is innovation. Film is a long time to get ROI. We are actively contributing and making money and supporting this state and the economic drive of this state. So just know that this is not business as usual. This rollout was a disaster and the equity push was a setup for failure. And to
30
be honest,
seconds.
instead of generational wealth, many of us are looking at generational debt. Operators like myself are the one building this industry, employing thousands and circulating millions in revenue. So we really need the state to understand that this is the garden state with no gardens. Make this make sense. We need more support. We understand that you're tied by the legislation, but please, everyone needs to work together so that we don't look like the laughing stock of the rest of the United States. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Eliza. The next person on the list is Donald Campbell. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Last four is 9605. Donald Campbell. All right, I don't see that person. The next person on the list is Chris Ziegler. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. The last four is 3634. Chris Ziegler. I don't see that person. The next person is Alan Truskowski. Last four is 0202. Alan Truskowski. I don't see that person. The next person is Bill Comerford. Last four is 9661. Bill Comerford. I don't see that person. The next person is Jared Turner. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Last four is 4939. Jared Turner. I don't see that person. The next person is Todd Johnson. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Last four is 9308. Todd, you have the floor. Todd?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Waynu, Commissioners Nash and Knapp, and CRC staff. My name is Todd Johnson, and I am the Executive Director of the New Jersey Cannabis Trade Association. Our membership is comprised exclusively of CRC licensed businesses. I speak today on behalf of New Jersey's licensed cannabis operators, businesses who desperately want to succeed in this young and quickly evolving marketplace. The legal cannabis industry in New Jersey has made real progress since legalization 3 years ago. We have lower prices, increasing access, and responsible operations. However, uncertainty and delays in regulatory action are putting many operators at risk, as Dr. Eliza just mentioned previously. Last month, the board denied 5 waiver requests, including the NJ-CTA's request to extend the 6-month expiration period for usable cannabis to 12 months. Extending the expiration period to 12 months would provide licensed operators with desperately needed flexibility to manage inventory, reduce unnecessary product waste, and ensure consistent consumer access, all while maintaining public safety and product integrity. While the board acknowledged the industry's pleas and the need for this change, it deferred action to the rulemaking process with no clear timeline for implementation. This type of uncertainty leaves businesses in limbo and reflects broader industry challenges in working with the Commission. Our rapidly evolving industry needs a regulator that can respond thoughtfully and quickly. We need more regulatory flexibility, more delegated authority, and the will to change or waive rules that no longer serve any useful purpose. And there are many of these out there. These issues are not overly complex. They do not require years of delay. They require responsiveness and a commitment to problem solving. We urge the Commission to lean into greater regulatory flexibility, not in a manner that decreases consumer safety, but rather promotes it while simultaneously supporting businesses' needs. Allow for more delegation of authority to staff who are better situated to decide issues in a timely manner and reduce bureaucratic red tape that only hinders the very same businesses that the legislature and governor have sought to empower. Almost 8 years ago, Governor Murphy prioritized a similar call to action by signing Executive Order 6 at the onset of his first term. That order directed a review of the rules governing cannabis businesses, focusing on removing unnecessary barriers and identifying ways to expedite the needs of individual businesses.
20
At
seconds.
the time, this effort was critical. Today, with several hundred licensed businesses navigating a complex regulatory landscape, the need to streamline the agency's operations is even more urgent. At the end of the day, we all share the same goal: a healthy and safe legal cannabis market. By utilizing waivers and delegating certain authority to staff, the Commission can respond to timely needs of operators while retaining oversight. Let's move with urgency to implement the positive change this industry needs. We can only achieve that if we act together, and we must act now. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. The next person on the list is Alan Au. Last four is 2437. Alan Au. I don't see that person. The next person is LaRon Jones. Last four is 9816. All right, I see you, LaRon. LaRon, you have the floor. Just unmute yourself. To unmute, it's *6, if you can hear me.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alrighty, well, just want to step in and say I just want to thank NECAN, the entire New Jersey cannabis community. We saw over 600 vendors come to our table last week at the conference, but what warmed my heart most was seeing Vice Chair Nash come out and help see the cannabis community that you all helped create. And, you know, it was just very inspiring. You know, again, this was just to go out and show the work we put in, the love that we receive, and it was received very well. So I just want to thank the Vice Chair for coming out, taking time to stop at our booth, as there were hundreds of booths there, and sharing the positive sentiments that were shared. The interest was so high that we've had over 20 vendors reach out to us. Everyone wanted to come tour the store, come see what it looks like. And today, instead of, you know, scheduling them separately with everyone, I hosted a vendor day today. I have some of New Jersey's top brands here in the store right now. And again, we just wanted to call in and show our love. And if everyone, and I even have my parents here today. So if everyone wants to just say hello to the wonderful CRC, we appreciate it. Hello, CRC, we love you. But I appreciate it. And again, I'm just overly filled with joy. Everyone continues to ask how my energy is so high and contagious despite the bump in the road. And I tell them it's faith. So thank you.
Thank you, LaRon. The next person on the list is James Beasley. If you're in the room, I see you, James. James, you have the floor.
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent. Good afternoon. My name is Jim Beasley. I'm the Director of Integrated Analytical Solutions, a new licensed cannabis testing laboratory located in Hamilton, New Jersey. I'd like to speak today about the cannabis testing in New Jersey. At the last CRC board meeting, data presented by Christopher Riggs raised important concerns showing unusual trends in both the THC and the microbial testing results. Unfortunately, this data is not a surprise. These types of issues have been seen in multiple states. This underscores the need for timely action here in New Jersey. I respectfully urge the Commission to expedite its investigation and implement solutions because further delays only increase the risk to consumers and medical patients, the very people the CRC is charged with protecting. When we were establishing IAS as the cannabis testing lab, one of the most surprising discoveries was that New Jersey does not yet have its own testing regulations, despite the adult use cannabis being legalized over 3 years ago. Instead, the state still relies on the old Maryland guidelines from 2020, developed back in the height of the COVID pandemic. Since then, even Maryland has moved forward and updated their standards twice. New Jersey deserves regulations that reflect our own market needs as well as the latest science. Finally, I encourage the Commission to strengthen the communication with the testing laboratories. IAS submitted a proposal to the CRC several months ago, but received only a brief acknowledgement with no further engagement. Greater collaboration between the CRC and the licensed labs is essential to solving these challenges facing our state. Our team, and I'm sure others in the state, are ready to provide technical expertise and support. Together, we can build a solution that will protect the consumers and strengthen the industry. Thank you for your time and your opportunity to speak.
Thank you, James. The next person on the list is Andrea Rabel. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Andrea Rabel. Last four is 216. All right, I see you, Andrea. Andrea, you have the floor.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm sorry, I'll keep my comments brief today as my health is not quite cooperative. I did want to say thank you to the CRC. I appreciate that I was able to see Vice Chair Nash at NECAN as well. It's nice to see the commissioners outreaching and trying to connect with more of the community and have a firsthand look at what's going on in the market. A lot of times what we see in regulation and legislation can be a far cry from what the reality is for both patients and operators. We've heard from a number of people today that we need to streamline business interests and we need to prioritize the economy, the industry. But I appreciate that the CRC is the one branch in New Jersey right now that has a commitment to also prioritize patients. We hear time and time again that finances are their only responsibility, and I appreciate the CRC's caution at times with going forward with waivers when we don't have adequate data. I appreciate that you're taking the time to look into more data, like the potency and the microbials, and hiring more staff with more expertise in those fields. I think as we go forward with more experts involved and with more data collected, we'll be able to see that there might be some good compromises for the industry and for patients. Maybe we can extend shelf life safely. If the data backs that, fantastic. But I think everyone's been saying we do need more collaboration from different angles. If the CRC is willing to work with the experts in the industry, we might be able to have more responsive feedback on this. If we're able to host town halls and listening sessions, it might not have to be an on-the-spot decision about a waiver. You might be able to hear broader industry feedback and still use the waiver process to make more timely. There might be a middle ground between long-term regulation and each individual business making their own requests. I would love to see you work more with the labs as safely if we are going forward with round robin testing, and we will now be testing with 6 of the labs. So hopefully we'll be eager to share that data with you and help you make any informed decisions that you can to keep providing for both the safety of our license holders and the safety of the consumers that really truly depend on you. We've see it across the state. I mean, even our Senate president today acknowledged that home grow is maybe eventually and maybe a pilot program for specific patients and only one plant for each of those patients,
20 seconds.
it can be disheartening in New Jersey. And I know the CRC is under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, but I really hope you can be our point of optimism going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. The next person on the list is Lindsay Shaw. Last four is 4434. Lindsay Shaw. I don't see that person on the list. I'm going to go over the list of those who were called but didn't appear. Mayor Albert Kelly. Last four is 8377. Mayor Albert Kelly. Thomas Norcia. Last four is 2406. Thomas Norcia. I don't see that person. Paul Cassis. Last four is 1144. Paul Cassis. I don't see that person. Donald Campbell. Last four is 9605. Donald Campbell. I don't see that person. Chris Ziegler. Last four is 3634. Chris Ziegler. The next person is Alan Truskowski. Last four is 0202. Alan Truskowski. Bill Comerford. Last four is 9661. Bill Comerford. Jared Turner. Last four is 4939. Jared Turner. The next person is Alan Au. Last four is 2437. Alan Au. Lindsay Shaw. Last four is 4434. Lindsay Shaw. I don't see those people. Chairwoman, this will conclude the registered speakers we have for today's public meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Saeed, and thank you to all those who shared their thoughts, their experiences, and their ideas for the commission to consider. As a reminder, individuals can submit written comments to the commission by going to our website, nj.gov/cannabis/meetings. The deadline for submitting written comments for today's meeting is 5 o'clock tomorrow, September 11th. Those written comments will be shared with the commission members and they will be made public. So this concludes the business that we have before us today. And with that, I move that we adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion to adjourn? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes. So the time is 12:55 and we are adjourned. The next board meeting will be on Wednesday, October 1st at 11 a.m. It is not going to be Thursday, October 2nd. It will be Wednesday, October 1st. So we look forward to having you all join us for that. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.